very small crowd, so that's great. All right, so I've been in the online industry for a very long time. I've built studios for Unity and Ubisoft as well. Now taking care of Europe for PlayFab, the only one and the best live game operation platform. If you don't know it, you should look at it to power your online games. And now ARX, so we're doing mixed reality content. So that said, yeah, we're going to talk about interactions and live operations. But first, I'm going to go through the history of where it was and how it is now. I'm going to go super fast into that. And then holograms, how we should manage holograms today. And through my experience and from the other people I've met in the industry, what is good. What are the KPIs and the live operation side of this? And where are we going? So there's quite a lot of stuff. So in terms of evolution of the UI, it's quite important to relate that everything that we have known is all flat. So if you heard it probably in the talk before, you know, like this is, or mindset is set to be like this. But in this mixed reality, the mindset is completely different. It's object, it's 3D, it's spatial around you, and this changed everything. So the first thing you will go through to actually figure out where you want to go with that is look at Iron Man and say, oh, I want to replicate this. In Iron Man, there's a lot of good stuff that you can already do today. Like, for example, everything that you're seeing right now, you can do it. But the UI suck, all right? So what does that mean is that you cannot have huge circles in front of your eyes and blocking your front of view. That's not how it works. It needs to be far away from you. It needs to be part of the space. Everything that is in your face, you want to make it out of there. And especially when it's fixed like this, it doesn't work. It has to have some ease-in interaction into it. So if you are into interface, you use a lot of ease, it's going to be really a lot helpful for you. Let's go on. Sorry, clicker. There we go. So, and the reality is that this was fiction, but in reality, it's there as well. So that's a headset of the F-35 airplane. So this headset can zoom to about 4 kilometers forward. It can see through multiple style of lighting. It can see through objects. But the best thing of it is that you can also see through your own airplane. So if you want to land under your airplane, you can also see where this is going. So that's pure immersion into your own environment, and cars are going in the same direction. And going on with history, if you look at 2006, PlayStation has this huge push forward, going with AR and trying to push that forward, and it didn't work really well, simply because people were not ready for it. And even in 2006 or 2005, I had the N95 Nokia. You could do AR already. So it's been more than 10 years that AR is trying to pierce the market, or to actually be there and have something concluent. And some will say that Pokemon Go is that, but it's not really it. So it's, even nowadays, even if it's distributed by McDonald's and other IPs, it doesn't work very well.
Wizards of the Coast. Check it out. You'll be amazed.
Get the clicker, sorry. There we go. So here it is. So you don't know that, I'm pretty sure. So these glasses are the ODG glasses. This is $850. It's full mixed reality. It's spatial aware of your surrounding. It makes a cloud map of all the objects that is around you, and is available in a month and a half of time. Okay? So this glasses is going to be distributed in China to 800 million people starting in 3 months of time. So this is the first consumer glasses, mixed reality glasses available on the market that is cheap, you know. This is the price of an expensive phone. And so this is really the beginning. It's the beginning of where, well, you can actually buy it and keep it as a relic, because in 20 or 30 years, it's going to be way more advanced, but you're going to have like the first one, right? And of course, there's also the Tango. Whoa, it's not here. It's actually in my pocket. So here's another one. So that's a really fat phone. All right, it runs the Tango mapping sensors in it. It works really well. The HoloLens is great as well, but it gets heavy with time. Actually, the ODG gets heavy as well when you have it for a little bit of time. And what is great with the ODG glasses is that it also comes with a unit that you can change on top of it to have various type of process. So for all this eye tracking we just heard about, it's also available with those glasses. So now let's go into the holograms. So spatial mapping is the key. Spatial mapping is really where the world defines. So the world you're seeing here is actually generated on the fly based into your surrounding. So you first scan the room and then the game starts. So what does that mean is that you can create your surrounding and have really immersion into your own ambience. So all these things of not knowing if there's a table there, you actually feel the table because you know it was there. So being spatially aware is amazing. And not only that, is that when you look around you, you can also say these type of objects, like a table, will always react in a certain way. So we'll always have like a pot of flowers on the table around you. So, and then that brings you to that. So this is the real world, okay? Object anchoring is the #1 thing that makes spatial mapping amazing. Is that you say, my hologram is there, you go run around, you go 100 meters away, you come back, it's still there.
Welcome aboard the UNSC
And this is the big thing that makes spatial mapping great, is that your surrounding becomes your data. It becomes your endpoint of where things are supposed to happen. So if it was not of those sensors, you wouldn't be able to go forward. So that was at the launch of the latest Halo. So they make that room where you can go in with the HoloLens and really experience what the HoloLens is about, and then you could play the game. So you had a full immersion of where things were going.
Experience of HoloLens.
And another thing that is great with holograms is really having this spatial 3D surrounding around you, which means that if there's something happening here, you will hear it. It's the same in VR, but also since it's mixed reality, you don't have this lagging moment of where you're looking around and feeling where the sound of the object is. You see it right away. So this instinct is primal. And also if there's alert or if there's something that needs to that is really important, the 3D sounds will trickle into your brain and be really part of the experience. So use it for every kind of unit that you have. And gazing is where you're looking at. So many people make gazing as a static object. So you look at there, it moves as your head turns around. But again, pull in a lot of easing, which is the gaze should be later into your view. It's a lot more natural and will combat all this sickness that you've heard about in VR. But in MR, of course, it's a lot easier. And gazing is really great when you're also with other users or other players, because they can see what you're doing, what you're looking at, what is the interaction point, so you have to use it. So we're used to say, well, like I'm someone, you're someone, but now that we are into this augmented phase of the visualization, you have to use those augmented cues to give better information to the people around you. So use it really well.
So that it does not obscure what they are.
So obviously, what you have also with every glasses is a GPS. So location is #1. And the great thing with location is obviously that when you start to be with other people, gaming becomes different. Because now you don't have to read about a tutorial, you don't have to read about what is the next content. Someone who is next to you is going to tell you about it. So that raises a lot of questions about KPI that you have to track. You have to start tracking about what is happening in a region, and also you have to give them content, right? Because these guys could stay there for 3 days if you want to. I mean, it's real time, it's happening now. So you have to take this data and push it forward so that the users really feel like, well, the game is responding to me. And this whole immersion gives a vision forward. And this is the new thing. So there's a lot of investment happening in robots with games. So you might not have seen it yet, but in the last 6 months, there was a lot of investment in that part. So obviously that when you have a camera and on the phone, it's not so fun, but when you have an actual headset and those robots are moving around, it's really amazing, because then you control, the same thing with drones. You can actually follow a drone and have a hologram around the drone and shooting another drone and all these things. It's amazing, it works really well. And then it gets me to that. So a PI, what is a PI? It's a personal artificial intelligence. So these PI will be part of our, well, already part of our daily life, but the next version will be also part inside of the game. So now there's new API that's going to be released in the next months that are only tailored to artificial intelligence that will totally change the way we conceive games. Because your AI will be able to help you inside of your game. We'll be able to tell you what's going on into other sectors in the game and will feed you with information. So then again, it raised a big question about KPIs. What if two AI starts to talk to each other? You know? What type of information will they share? What will you gain out of it? So these are KPIs are new, and that will be part of our future, and we already have to start to measure these things to give a better experience to the end user. And same thing for what I was talking earlier, which is people are talking that are in the same region has more chance to share information. So this kind of future is not the future actually, it's actually right now. And if you look back at what I was saying earlier with the ODG glasses, this customer-facing hardware is already there, and what it lacks is a lot of content. So content is not there. VR, it's getting better. It's actually going to get a lot better when 3D60 camera and all these things are part of all our devices. Then content will create demand for the hardware. So anyway, so we are entering the augmented age. And this is a line that you have to remember. So artificial intelligence, spatial mapping, tracking of the eyes that we heard earlier in the other presentation. And all of these things are actually going to be part of our daily gaming development phase in a few years from now, but it's already available. Just a matter of distribution from now on. So what does that mean for you? Is that, let's get to boring slides. So it means that everything needs to be real time. You cannot be in a world that you're lagging, because if people start to bump into each other, you have to present them content based onto these actions. And same thing if you are part of an experience and then there's some drones flying by and you're looking at them and you're wondering if there's something about it, there should be a way to be aware of these actions and be part of the experience as well. So these new kind of sharing will be all real time, and you're going to need an awesome backend to handle all of that, like, believe me. So really soon we will be in a time where everyone will have their own world. So first we can spatially map again, items around you. So what does that mean is that I can have my own personal world. You know, if I'm a metal fan, I can change everything being metal around me. Or if I want to have like unicorns everywhere, well, I can have unicorns all around me as well. I can have my pet with me all the time, my virtual pet going with me. I can take him with me outside. I can see him, I can hear him. So all of these new immersions will bring you where people around you are either, you know, in a world that you don't see, or they are in the same world as you are. And this is going to go a lot faster than you think. So even like Carl Zeiss, who make also prescription glasses, are having this really miniature new screens that is going to be available next fall. Super low entry price, where anyone from in the optical building frame of glasses will be able to buy and build some other glasses with them. So it's amazing how this industry is going fast. So which world are you going to create? That's the question you should already think about, because you need a lot of thinking to get with some ideas, especially with this new world where everything is in 3D and is immersive. So did anyone saw this video yet? Here? Yeah, right, that's good. So it's super important to keep in mind that this is, of course, fiction, but it's really close to reality, actually. So knowing that with the BLE, so with the Bluetooth Light Engine, you can actually follow all of these objects into your mixed reality worlds. It brings a lot of of new possibilities, and so that's where live game operation that we know today will be really important tomorrow, because it's going to be extremely important to get your users happy. And to keep them happy, you have to know everything about them, more or less, but also what triggers them to buy something, and what can you do to help them go in that direction. So Yeah, so in that sense, that's where we're going, whether we like it or not. And that's where interactions, my knowledge around interactions is going to improve from the years to come, especially with the new hardware that are coming. So I hope you had some good information that you can go on with that and that you can enjoy mixed reality as well. Thank you. All right. So any question? Yeah, in the back?
What would you say the state of user interactions with mixed reality is going to be like now-ish?
Yeah, sure. So first, like, if you look at the Tango, or if you look at ODG or HoloLens, they all have different input system. For example, when you are with the HoloLens, the input is actually limited to what they offer into the hardware. You cannot extend it. So that's really bad, okay? And then the ODG, they don't have a sensor for your hands to actually understand where they are at in front of you. But if you take one of the add-on, then you can have it. But then there's gestures library that are already available today that are cross-platform that will understand that if you do this or this in front of your camera, will actually define it as two different input. So from that point on, you can already leverage this. In terms of glasses, again, like the cameras are a lot different. So, for example, like the Tango phone I was showing to you earlier, that's the first generation of Tango sensors. And now Google announced like 4 months ago that they're going to trash all of that it's crap. And so now they're building a new processor that is better and that will understand more the surrounding. And it's going to be available for hardware producers in 2 months of time. So it goes like super fast, right? And then from that point on, they're 100% sure that this will be in every phone from now on. So that's an important point, because what you saw earlier, which was the spatial mapping in a place where, well, they want to get the Pixel phone to do that. Right? So that you don't need anything else. And also, if you look at the hardware industry in the phone, they cannot put more processors in there. They cannot put like more RAM. They can still for another 2-3 years, but after that, they're going to plateau, and they cannot do anything else. So it all goes to these sensors after that. So Google wants to be forward, and actually, the whole Alphabet actually wants to go forward with that and bring more sensors to all those hardware startups that they have. Same thing for the next generation of Nest, where they will be spatially aware where they are in the room, and in that sense, when you walk in and when you bring other things, you'll be able to interact with them as well. So beacons are super interesting. So it's extremely early. But it's good to actually at least pick one and spend a week with it and feel all the possibilities, because you're gonna, if you're creative, you're gonna go in bed at night and say, wow, like I can do this now, I can do that, and now it's just a matter of doing it.